everybody. Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. My name again is Jeffrey Davis. We continue all summer to stream stories of leadership, entrepreneurship, new businesses, and how people are dealing with this economy and family businesses. Our next guest is Jyotsna Mehta, and she is the CEO and founder of Keva Health. Welcome.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you. Tell us about Keva.
So Keva Health was started about 3 years ago. I started this company since I saw my daughter, who is an asthmatic patient. When she was diagnosed with asthma, we used to not really know how to take care of her in between visits to the doctor. This was a very new disease for us. Nobody in our family had it. And at such a young age, it was very hard as parents to learn how to manage her disease at home. That kind of ignited us to think about that it was not just my daughter, but millions of other patients, children, adults, adolescents, who were trying to manage this disease at home. And it was leading them to get worse and get to the ER in the middle of the night. Obviously, when you can't breathe, you have no choice but to get to the hospital. So we started Keva Health as a remote patient monitoring solution that provides care to patients in between their visits to the doctor through the use of connected Bluetooth devices and a patient app. And here we are. We have so many patients who are using our program and not being able to get to the ER and stay safe is the best thing for them. And we have a lot of doctors who believe in our program and are seeing good outcomes.
So is this a nationwide program or is this more regionalized at this point of time?
It is a nationwide program. Anybody who suffers from any kind of respiratory illness can join our program. The program is reimbursed by most commercial and Medicare insurances and payers. So we typically work with doctors. If you let your doctor know that you're looking for a program, a remote monitoring program for their respiratory illness, the doctor can get in touch with us and we can get them started on the program.
I think this is all very exciting. I don't have a bad case of asthma, but I do have asthma, and I would assume, especially with children or the elderly, that this is very important. You need to, if they're having an attack, they need a quick response, and they need to get out of the asthma situation.
Yes, absolutely. That's aptly said, Jeffrey. A lot of chronic care management for something like asthma or even COPD is always looking back and making sure that you take your medications on time, that you kind of see something worsening happening. And that's what we do at Keva. We are able to recognize, we have a care team approach, and we're able to see this data, this signals every single day from the patients so that when they start deteriorating, we catch that signal ahead of time. And by doing that, we avoid those last minute ER visits that essentially happen usually in the middle of the night or on a Saturday morning. And so we want to make sure that we avoid this patient from getting to the
ER. Probably was included in your earlier comments when you talked about it, but how do you make your revenue?
That's a great question. So since I mentioned earlier about getting reimbursed from both commercial and Medicare. So most of the insurances in the US, private payer, commercial, Medicare, reimburse, and some Medicaid as well, also reimburse these programs. They are called remote patient monitoring programs. And so if you go to your doctor and ask them to put you on one, they should be able to claim reimbursement for it. We get our service fees from the doctor. So we have a platform fee, we have a usage fee for using the app, and we have a cost for the devices. So we get our cost from the doctors. The doctors in turn get reimbursed from the payer.
Very nice. Now, is this your first entrepreneurial venture, or is this something you had experience with that really helped you to sort of get this thing going quicker?
No, this is my first one. I worked for about 25 years in healthcare, spanning across academia, FDA, the pharmaceutical industry. And then I wanted to do something in digital health just based on all the experiences I had. A lot of my career has been working in improving health outcomes. So, working on real world data, working on studies, real world studies, where we look at what happens to the medication when it is given to millions and millions of people. So I wanted to bring all of that experience when I started this company. Um, and also, of course, I had a personal story as well.
Interesting. So, where do you see the company going in the next 3 years?
So in the next 3 years, I envision Keva expanding not just in the US, but also at least one or two other ex-US countries as well. Um, Within US, I would like to see all of the pulmonologists and the allergists, which is the specialty that we work with. So I would like all of the pulmonologists and allergists and asthma specialists to make remote patient monitoring um, as part of their guidelines in disease management so that every patient who needs this program should be able to access it and get it. So I would love for this to happen across the US first. And then in ex-US, we are actually starting a small pilot in India, which is another country that has a high prevalence of asthma and COPD and various respiratory illnesses as well.
Well, yeah, when I think of children, with peanut allergies or asthma and different things, I think it's a great system. But I also, one of the things that occurs to me is that the application of AI can be very beneficial to a business of yours. And I assume that's something that you're considering as well. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. AI is the future, only if it is used in the right way. We have already incorporated AI in our app, which is called the Keva Talk app, as well as the Keva 365 remote patient monitoring platform. And that AI helps in providing patients sort of what is the next step, depending on what their disease is, depending on what their action plan is. It helps them tell them what the next step is to take care at home. We're also incorporating AI as a company to streamline our processes, reduce the time that it takes for the care team to answer queries that come from the patients. So there's a lot. I think AI has a big future ahead. It's just up to us how we use and leverage.
All very exciting, and I hope you stay connected with us. Healthcare has always been an area of great focus and concern for me, and I think what you're doing is very important. We've been speaking with Jyotsna Mehta of Keva Health. If someone wants to get hold of you, learn more about the company, how would they find you?
So you can visit our website, which is www.kevahealth.com, and that is spelled as KEVAHEALTH.com. We also have Facebook, Instagram, and other social media channels handles as well. And you can always send us an email at info, which is INFO at kevahealth.com.
That's great. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to talk with us today. Look forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you, Jeffrey, and thank you so much for hosting this podcast and inviting me. I appreciate it.
Remind everybody, this is Radio Entrepreneurs, a source for entrepreneurial information.